Hi everyone, welcome to another video from CeeCee's Creations. Today I want to share with you a project that I did that is quite different from my usual style. It is an altered composition book, but vintage style. As you know, my style is more tends to lean more towards clean lines and very in-your-face colors, but this time I wanted a vintagey look because I think it's an avenue that I haven't explored yet, and I like it. I like what other people have put out there, so this is my first attempt. Here's the composition book in its raw format. As you can see, it's black. It's got a black spine. Now, I went ahead first and chose my paper, and this is a pretty paper from the Sweet Pea, from Stampin' Up's Sweet Pea collection, and it has butterflies and flowers. It's very pretty, and it's a big 12 by 12. I don't do a lot of scrapbooking these days, so I didn't know how to quite use those big 12 by 12s that have a lot of designs either in one corner and then the rest is kind of plain, so I thought it was perfect for that notebook. So what I did is I glued down the paper. I cut it to size, I glued down the paper, and I've used the Tombow Mono Multi liquid glue, and I put quite a bit around the edges of the book, and then I used a sponge brush and just to even it out and make sure that I had enough glue on the edges of the book, and then I went ahead and glued my paper down. It seemed to have worked well. It's not moving. I sanded the edges a bit, so I did the same thing for the back of it. This is a mistake. It's supposed to be the same paper as the front, but when I glued it down I realized that I had it on the wrong side. It's still okay because it matches that pretty ribbon that I have, so I'm fine with it. And like I said, it's my first experience, so I'm not going to go crazy about my little mistakes. The ribbon, to hide the black around the on the spine of the book, I decided to put down a ribbon. This is a retired ribbon, I believe, from Stampin' Up as well. It's beautiful, though. It's mellow moss. It coordinates very well with the paper. I love the eyelets on the sides here. It's really cute. And the frame is a chipboard piece from one of the chipboard kits also in the catalog, but I forget which name, I forget which kit it was. But anyways, I like the frame, and what I did is I first stained it with craft ink, a refill in mellow moss. I took a sponge and I dabbed the color onto the chipboard piece. Then I wanted something really glossy, and by the way, this is a whole bunch of this frame here is a series of mistakes over mistakes. I used glossy enamel because I wanted to have something really quick, thick and shiny. So after I stained my frame, I put many coats of glossy enamel, and then I had the idea that I should use a background stamp, the En Français, which is in the Stampin' Up catalog as well. This one here, it's really pretty. And I thought, well, if I heat up my last coat and I just hurry up and put the stamp on it, I'll have an imprint of the words. It didn't quite work the way I wanted it to. Half of it was fine, the other half was, I could only read like very faintly the words. So I reheated it again. And I still have a bit of words showing through, but that's okay. I'm fine with that. And what I did is I used a mix of rubbing alcohol and those shimmer paints also from Stampin' Up. This is the Frost White one. I mix it with those in a little spritzer like this. This one is from Ranger, but there's many out there. You can even find those in at your drugstore. And I spritzed, I misted my frame. What ended up happening is because the alcohol reacted with the stamp that I had inked before I actually tried to imprint on the frame, the color was the color started running. The color of the stamp started running. So I took my heat gun, I hurried it up, and I heated it to see what it would give. And what ended up happening, I think, is the glossy enamel kind of captured the shimmer of the mist, and I'm going to try and zoom in so you can see. But if you see, it's got like that nice pearlized effect. I really like it. Anyways, mistakes can have a good ending, you know. And I added a bit of, I added 4 half-back pearls from the Pretties kit. And I also put some stickles on the butterflies here. And I wrote my little book of notes, because that's what it is. I inked up the edges also to make it more vintagey. And then on the inside is just a top note label that I die cut it with the Big Shot. First I have this piece of DSP, and it's lined with a piece of Mellow Moss cardstock. So this DSP is actually cut on the dotted line, so that's why I ended up with a mat. But it's actually a pocket. And I went ahead on Word and I made a little shopping list template, and I cut them all up and I put that in there, so that way I have my book of note, I have my shopping lists in there, my little papers where I can jot down what I have to do, and it's perfect, it's complete. It's going to sit at my desk next to my keyboard. Now what I have in my hand right now was supposed to be an embellishment for my book. I couldn't decide where to put it though. After I put down the frame, I didn't know where it would fit properly, so I ended up not putting it on the book. But I turned this into a bookmark. Now it's very glittery, it shines. It's got several different mediums in there. Here's what I did. And this is again trial and error. The flowers were dyed with a mix of re-inkers and alcohol. Then I dried them all up. This is So Saffron, this is Rose Red. Then I took the hat pin from the Pretties kit and I bent it at the end here, if you can see it here. Okay, so it's bent, so it makes like a hook. And I thought, well, I can use this as a bookmark. But the hat pin kept moving and shifting and it was really wobbly. So what I ended up doing is taking some crystal effects and catching the hat pin with the cardstock that I put behind it. Which was fine and dandy, but it was ugly. So what I did is I took Mod Podge, the matte one, and I covered the whole thing in Mod Podge. And then I thought, well, while this is drying, maybe if I add glitter, the glitter will stay on the flowers. And that's exactly what I did. I took Dazzling Diamond and I covered it all up and let it dry. And this is what I ended up with. Cute little bookmark. This is a big half-back pearl from the Pretties kit. And so what I can do now is, let me zoom out again. What I can do now is I can actually mark the area where I'm at in my book. So this bookmark will just hook onto the last page that I have, and I can just close it and it's still pretty. So I'm happy with my project. Like I said, this is my first try. I have a whole bunch of other projects in the work. I have an Easter project that's coming up probably tomorrow or the day after. Hopefully you guys will be able to do that in time for Easter, which is coming this weekend. And a few mini albums. So hope to catch you next time. Have a great week and happy crafting.